Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Nathan Shafer, who is a real estate agent with Trinity Team Real Estate at Keller Williams Preferred Realty. Nathan, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. It's great chatting with you again.
Yeah, let's get started with give us a little bit of background. What led you to real estate? I think real estate is a profession that attracts people from a wide variety of backgrounds. So, what led you into this industry?
Oh, about 10 years ago, I recognized owning real estate was a way to increase wealth, and then my own background academically, I have an MBA in finance and marketing, and then my undergraduate is in computer science with Colorado State University. And 10 years ago, I recognized the value of having a portfolio of investments, and strategically, you can invest in the market, the Dow Jones, the stock market, and then the second advantage is you have this avenue of owning assets in the real estate market and recognizing the value and the maturity over a period of years. You recognize that owning real estate assets is a good avenue to increase your own wealth over a period of time. And I took advantage of that, and I established my own portfolio of real estate investments over the last 10 years. I can't say that it was just myself on my own. My wife also had a great deal in helping us reach some of the goals that we had with our investments. But I'm happy with what I've accomplished. And I would say over the period of 10 years, I decided to get into the real estate market as a broker and to facilitate a lessons learned. I've created a lessons learned register of mistakes, and I want to make sure as a broker myself that when I help other people, I can navigate them through those murky waters of not making the same mistakes I've made. And I want to facilitate the ability to whether you're just a first-time market buyer or you're an investor yourself, there's advantages, and I want to be able to make buyers, sellers of homes successful through those murky waters.
You bring up an interesting point about investment portfolio. And I know that many advisors will say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So don't put all your money in one fund or one type of fund or only real estate. So when you have a portfolio that is spread out, that gives you stability. And I think it's interesting. And I don't know much about the financial investment world, but I do know that when you own a piece of property, you get benefits from day one, like tax deductions, like the pride of owning a rental property if it's a rental property, and knowing that you're helping a family have a safe place to live. As opposed to a financial investment, nothing wrong with a financial portfolio, but that's kind of like looking way down the road and you're hoping that things grow, but you don't get those tax breaks. So I think that's a really interesting piece that you brought up there. Do you focus on that investor sector in the market when you work with clients?
Well, yeah. I mean, even if you're a first-time buyer, I want to be someone that supports you through your life of owning real estate, be there for the long haul. And even if you come and you approach me and say, I'm looking at this, I want to acquire this property, or if you're just a first-time buyer, I use what you call benefit measure KPIs. I'm going to talk to you about future value. I'm going to talk to you about planned value. I'm going to talk to you about actual cost. I'm going to talk to you about earned value. No matter if you're, again, a first-time buyer or you say, you want to increase a portfolio, of assets, I'm going to treat you both the same and make sure that we're tackling what you're trying to accomplish appropriately from a finance approach.
Because I think you can get very emotional in making an investment in real estate. You know, maybe you're like, oh, I love this neighborhood, or I love whatever, and you forgot the numbers. And if you watch Shark Tank, you always know that they're asking for, what are the numbers? What are the numbers? And believe it or not, I talk to a lot of experts in the business industry who say that they'll be working with a client that just has their numbers upside down. For example, hey, we made $1 million last year. Yay, we're amazing. But we had $1.4 million in expenses. So, then it's not so amazing. So I like your analytical approach to whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned investor. Let's start with that foundation of numbers, because then we can move on from there.
That's right. The devil is always in the details, and I'm here to help magnify those details to make sure that we've dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
So when you work with your clients, obviously a real estate agent, realtor, is not a very specific industry field. So you have a competitor or million, right? So what sets you apart from the competition? If someone was to look at working with you, why should they choose Nathan Shafer?
Well, one of the biggest things that I like is I'm a part of a team. We have a team of realtors. We have a transaction coordinator. We have a designated marketing specialist. And they make the whole, from beginning to end, if we're talking about either buying a home, or we're talking about selling a home, they're going to support me, and they're going to support the person buying and selling the home, and make the transaction seamless. So, and with the Trinity team, the team that I'm a part of, they're a faith-based organization, and that organization is built on a foundation of trust. And I think that's the key ingredient with the team and myself is trust. We're going to be a trusted advisor. So
that's really big when you hear in business, our values, our mission statement, go beyond just turning a profit or, helping clients. When it goes to that higher purpose is really, really huge. And whether you, subscribe to the same values or not, you can realize that the Trinity team with a kingdom-focused value system is going to treat you the right way. And I think that really is a big separator. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, and the other advantage that I have is we have leadership that we have Gordon Ballinger, who's been in the real estate business for 45 years, and then Eric as well, in the business for over 20 years. And rest assured, no matter if you're trying to sell a home or purchase a home for $200,000 all the way up to $5 million, we have the knowledge to manage the risk associated with any purchase, with any listing. And it really allows us to ensure that a successful transaction at the closing table with that background and support that we have in the team. And another advantage I should say.
Oh, I just was going to say people do not realize the full impact of this team that you're mentioning, because real estate is a industry where you could be a plumber last year, take your test, and yay, I'm a realtor now, and work out of your home. In theory, I'm just giving a broad example. Well, what kind of experience does that person have if you run into a snag and looking at preventing problems in a transaction, or it is a complicated one? That person's not going to have the support and experience behind them. With you guys, you could say, look, this is a commercial question that we ran into. I don't have the background, but you know what? Gordon has 30 years, 40 years of experience. I'm going to bring him to our next meeting. You're going to be able to learn from, and we're going to fix this problem right away. And I think for a buyer or seller to realize you've got that whole team behind you at the ready is such a huge thing, and I don't want that to be glossed over. That's an excellent point you bring up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to hone in on that, in terms of the team as well, I need to mention that we are a full-service real estate team. We do property management. We're commercial. We do commercial and then also residential. So we have you covered through all three major niches of the, buying real estate itself. And the team itself, the primary focus that we try to look on is making sure we maximize the return of the investment for your family or even as an investor.
And being able to have everything from start to finish, like as an example, you mentioned property management. Well, if you are helping a client buy an investment property, maybe that is a need or an option, and it's all under one roof. That's a really big piece. Let's shift over to when you're working with a seller, and in any market, up market, down market, they want to know, how are you going to market my house? Are you just going to data entry it into the MLS and sit back and wait for people to, maybe find it? Or are you going to really take that proactive approach? What does that look like when you work with your clients?
Yeah, I mean, my approach, with my academic background, I'm an undergrad in computer science. I'm more in with the times of marketing strategies and using technology. And I'm not just going to submit it to the MLS and then hope and pray that someone shows up and makes an offer. If your house is sitting on a golf course, I'm going to make sure that, to my best ability, that everyone within that 10-mile radius of that home that likes golf is going to see it on their Facebook or Instagram. It's going to come by on their phone, and they're going to say, wow, that looks like a good property. I'm kind of interested in that. So we're going to push online social media that targets, behaviors and sporting enthusiasts and whatever we think is interest for the demographics of your home. Most realtors, rely on a marketing approach based on location, features, and price. But my strategy is precision layered, targeted. And I think that's why my average listings, my last listing, I was under contract in 6 days, while the average MLS is 12 days in Colorado. So right
Wow.
there you can see, I have a marketing strategy that's 50% more effective on average.
That's really huge, and I think we cannot ignore the social media tools around us. And I would even say that you, I'm confident that you do this, but you brought up Facebook and Instagram and geo-targeted, around that address. Well, you probably would also go, this is a home that would attract, this demographic of buyer, whatever age bracket. So let's use this social media, as an example. You probably are not going to advertise that, high-end home on a golf course on TikTok, because probably the people on TikTok are not able to afford that house in theory. So what are some specializations that you look at when you're saying, okay, I've got a whole cadre of options available for me to market this property. Here's why I'm going to recommend this one to you, Mr. or Ms. Buyer or Seller.
Yeah, in terms of specialization, we like to look at, there's also algorithms out there that identify potential, how long you've lived in the house, how long have you thought about being able to approach buying a new home. So there's algorithms that we also utilize, and our specialization in that area really takes us above what any other realtor will look to accomplish.
What would an example of that algorithm be?
Well, if you take statistical probability of seeing that a person has lived in a home for 7 years, you take the age of the area, and then also you look at the income of the area, you can match that and determine that, hey, I'm ready to move. And when they're flagged as ready to move, you can then pinpoint them and push your marketing toward that person.
Yeah, really, really good. So what do you see some trends in the market if you were to have a buyer or seller come to you and say, what are you seeing in the market in the near future? What are you advising your clients of now?
Well, every time I come across someone that's ready to buy a home, the first thing they always want to ask is, are you seeing how many offers are you seeing being made for a property? How long does it take for the property to come off the market or be under contract? And, typically what I'm seeing in the market today is, anything under $400,000 is coming off the market fairly quickly. So you want to be ready and prepared. You want to be approved through a mortgage company or a mortgage broker so that we're ready to be engaged and make an offer. And if you're seeing properties $500,000 or above, they're staying on the market a little bit longer. But with utilizing a mortgage broker and then a real estate broker myself, we can negotiate an offer and try to make it happen in the time period that you're looking for.
Yeah, and from your marketing example, in a nice percentage of time quicker than the average. So, Nathan, thank you for coming on and explaining your approach to real estate. What is the best way that someone could reach out and connect with you?
Yeah, I'm available via phones at 720-638-5644. And you can also visit my website, www.nathanielshafer.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. It was great getting to know you.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.